weird when I can't see the comments.
I know. You can. Hey, what's going on, people? We're live. There should be a comment section on the right, Jess.
Oh, okay. Okay, so but is this from YouTube?
It's pulling it in from YouTube and everywhere. What's going on, people? I know we're talking to each other and not to you, but Jesse's just trying to figure out the comments here.
Oh, I'm getting a little dollar donation here from James.
Hey, look at that.
Thanks, James. You're the man.
What's up, people? It's Adam here from the Makers Mob with Jesse, the Samurai Carpenter. We are going to do Q&A. We're going to talk about what Jesse's been doing lately up at the lake property, the off-grid kind of development project that he's doing. You just got back today?
Yeah, I just pulled in the driveway a couple hours ago and unloaded all my stuff and like refilled the water jugs and like ready to load up the cooler and like go back up. It's just can't get enough of that place, man.
So you're practically spending if you put a percentage of your time, how much percent up there?
I'm pretty much up there like 4 to 5 days a week.
Wow. Crazy.
Some of that's travel time, right? So I come back. So it's not like a day of travel, but packing up the camp, putting all your tools in, loading the boat, getting there, driving 3 hours to get back. So yeah, it's pretty. By the time you've unpacked and kind of got settled and everything, it's an 8-hour day kind of a thing.
Yeah. Where are you guys all coming from? We got people from New Zealand. Someone who's calling Jesse out for being late.
Really?
Yeah, because we went live a minute late, so there we go.
Wow.
I mean,
I try to be on time. I'm not.
Kevin.
I'm a pretty punctual person. But that's that Kevin. He's always giving us shit, isn't he?
That's a different Kevin.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't see.
Well, guess what, Kevin? You spelled my name wrong, asshole.
There's no I.
There's no I. That's how girl Jesse spell their name. Guy Jesse, it's just an E. This is like a common rule. Apparently, there aren't enough Jessies around for people to know the rule. If it's a girl, it's I-E. If it's a guy, it's E. Okay? You all know the rule now. Follow the rules.
What's up? Jacksonville, North Carolina, Melbourne, Australia. We got Georgia.
Well, I got the whole world here.
The whole world is tuning in.
The whole world.
Gold Coast of Australia.
South America, Ontario, New Zealand.
Nice. So we're going to do some Q&A in a little bit. So if you got questions, just keep those for a bit. But before that, what have you been working on lately, Jesse? We latest videos were the dock, the boardwalk.
Well, we got the dock built. I have ordered. Well, I shouldn't say I. My buddy John over at Pacific Coast Metalcraft has ordered all of the aluminum for my gangway, my ramp. That's going to go from the boardwalk down to the dock. So it's going to be like an aluminum 3x3 square tubed like truss ramp, kind of like what you'd see at most docks and stuff.
How long is it going to be?
30 feet. 30 footer. So I've got my dad's boat trailer that I use to take the skiff up there, and it's big enough for a 33-foot boat. So we're going to try and like strap the ramp
shimmy that on there
onto the boat trailer.
Nice. And
drive that up island and hopefully not get pulled over with some weird law that says you can't transport ramps on a boat trailer. And then him and his crew are going to hopefully come up and help me install it. So we're going to make a little episode for the show on, getting the ramp fabricated. So I'm going to go to their shop and be the cut bitch or whatever and just cut all the pieces and like scrub all the weld joints and stuff like that so that they can just essentially come or keep Calvin just tigging and making the thing together, like so he can just keep welding and I'll just stay ahead of him and prefab it all. And so we're just going to do it in their shop.
Nice. And
then load it on the trailer and take it up, and they'll come up and we'll hopefully install it and everything will go great, and we'll crack some beers and sit around a non-existent campfire because it's a fire ban. No. We'll hang out. Hopefully they'll camp out for the night. I don't know if might just do a day trip. We'll see. Yeah. But should be a fun little project. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but we're still a couple weeks out on materials.
Okay.
So I'm just getting the boardwalk. Yeah, I put up the handrails and stuff the last couple days, just so it's safe for my kids because we were all kind of sitting on the boardwalk. 'Cause it's kind of like the only deck area apart from the dock. Everything else is, this rocky, uneven terrain, and
Yeah.
so we've been hanging out there. But then it's like 10, 12-foot drop onto rocks. I don't want my kids to fall, so trying to get some hand rails up so that's at least safe until we get the ramp and everything in, and then we'll have a sweet dock set up, easy access. So
nice. So is that going to be a pretty steep incline going up there?
I was originally going to get a 24-foot ramp, and then I looked at how high I built the boardwalk. I built it up pretty high because I didn't want to have. I wanted to have as few steps as possible. So I didn't want to have kind of landings and then stairs and then more landings and stairs and so I'm about 11 feet, I think, from the boardwalk to the dock, or it might be 10. I don't know. It might be 11 feet to the water. But the water keeps going down, right? Because we haven't got enough rain.
Yeah,
so
I was going to ask. In
like
the winter,
every week, the water level's dropping like almost a foot. Like it's crazy.
Wow. So in the winter, it comes up how far? Do you know?
I've heard anything from like 3 feet to 10 feet. I was like, what? I've driven around the lake and looked at people's houses and their docks are like their ramps are right on the beach. And so I was like, that must be underwater then.
Huh.
But yeah, I've heard the neighbors said like it's not every year, but they said like randomly you get a really wet winter or a lot of snowfall or something like that up in the mountains. And then the rain or whatever, plus they're like, their ramp is at about 10 feet, and they said that the water was like right up to the base of their platform.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So I've heard that, but then I also heard that there used to be a weir at the lake that controlled the level of the lake, but they took that out a couple of years ago. So hopefully the lake level is a little bit more consistent, but it's definitely dropped at least 3 feet from when I came and saw the property before we bought it back in March.
Yeah.
And I would have thought like March would be like you would get the high level water.
Yeah,
it's like,
from the runoff and everything.
Like winter's kind of just finishing. The rains have been really heavy. That would be kind of like the high point. So yeah, hopefully it's not anywhere close to that, but my ramp is high enough if it is. So yeah, don't have to worry there.
We've got a couple questions coming already. Let's just jump into these. First, James Green wants to know when the pizza oven video is going to come. Ooh,
like that's a big rage. That's all the rage these days. I don't know. I'm down with that, but at the same time, I'm like, man, you can like buy those little like propane ones, they're like ceramic or whatever. I was like, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, it doesn't take a ton of space and weigh 5,000 pounds. Because unless I can make a pizza oven out of just like the volcanic rock that's on site, I'm not dragging 1,000 bricks out there to make a pizza oven. I'll tell you that. But yeah, this imagination station is full tilt right now. Okay, like I'm planning the Ewok village.
I think that's every guy's dream from childhood. Yeah. I always had a dream of an Ewok village.
I'm surprised why there aren't more Ewok villages out there alone. Like, there should just be more. I think there is. We should do a Google search. I know there's this crazy place on the island here. They're like spheres. They're hippy dippy new energy spheres or something. And this guy made these wooden balls. He makes them like out of strips of wood. There's perfect spheres, and then he like fiberglasses them and hangs them in the trees, and you can rent out these little spheres that have these crazy stairs that go up and down. It's like a little it's like an Ewok village, but they're like these kind of new age
modern
orbs hanging from the trees. So yeah, I want to do an Ewok village. I want to make some tent platforms so I can like rent camping spaces out to people that want to come like and visit and help me build stuff. So a labor camp.
Yeah. Samurai Carpenter labor camp.
Yeah, Samurai Carpenter labor camp, where you pay me to come and work. No. So yeah, I don't know. I saw that app it was on my Facebook page called Hip Camp, which is essentially VRBO but for camping, where you like let people come and camp on your land. I was like, well, that'd be cool. I go pick people up in the boat, take them out to the property. They have little tent platforms. They can camp out, hang out, that sort of stuff. I thought that'd be fun. It'd be a great way to get to know people and have people come out and help me build stuff because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So yeah, just coming up with all sorts of ideas. Feel free to post awesome ideas in the comments of my videos because I'm reading all that stuff.
Andrew V asks, what are you using to moor the dock?
This is a good question. I've been hemming and hawing and trying to brainstorm and come up with my own ideas. But as time would tell, usually what everybody else is doing is the best idea because, well, they came before you and tried a bunch of stupid stuff and then settled on what they did. So everybody pretty much drops these huge concrete blocks and then has a chain and a rope that comes up and then kind of hangs on a shackle, not a shackle, but like a pulley. And then they hang like buckets of concrete. So that way the dock can kind of move up and down with the waves, and the bucket kind of acts as a counterweight.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the water settles or whatever, like the dock comes back and settles in the same position. And then from the shore, you use like heavy duty 3/8 or 1/2 inch long link chain, galvanized chain, and then you kind of crisscross the chains, right? So that one chain comes through and hooks from the shore to the corner of the dock so that it can't move that way. Or sorry, it's all backwards in the computer here. And then the other chain kind of crisscrosses so that the dock can it can still move, but it can't move side to side kind of a thing. Mm. So that's how they usually attach it to the shore. And then you drop a big concrete block in the front of the dock and then have two of those little rope systems kind of holding the front of the dock so that it doesn't kind of move in and out sort of a thing. So I was thinking that, or I was going to try to make like a big aluminum or steel fabricated like hinge that would like steel tubing that would kind of hold the dock off the shore and act as like a hinge. But the shoreline's not parallel to the dock. And so one end of the hinge would have been longer, which would have added weird complications and forces of nature and physics and that sort of stuff, which I never paid attention to in school. So I was like, don't mess around with that. So I'm just going to do what everybody else is doing and do the concrete blocks. Good news is the neighbor who's getting the dock built by a professional dock building company, the professional dock building company dropped a concrete block right in front of my house by accident. I was like, and so he came over in the boat, and I'd seen this buoy, this rope, and this little float sitting right out in front of my property. I was like, what is that? Why did they put that there? It's right in front of my property. And so the guy came over and he's like, hey, like, my crew dropped a block, a 4,000-pound concrete block, like way over here. They weren't supposed to do that. He's like, we could come and pull it up. I was like, really? You can do that? And he's like, yeah, but it's not worth our time. He's like, you can just have it. I was like, yes. So I've got a spot for my buoy now. All you guys that have been following along and the adventures I've had trying to get my buoy out there and not having anything hold. Now I've got a 4,000 concrete block right off in front of my dock that I put my buoy on it. I went and rescued my buoy from the neighbor's log boom and brought it back over. I lost the rope and the concrete buckets and everything. That's weighted like 100 feet down. So now I've got this awesome block of concrete that's not going to go anywhere. So I'm probably going to get another block dropped, hopefully, if it's not too expensive, because I don't have any money. And my credit card is starting to go up pretty quick. So I'm like, I need to get some more sponsorships or something to be able to afford all this, because it's just, I'm hemorrhaging money at the moment. If you guys think going off the grid is going to be cheap experience, it's not. So if I can get maybe another block dropped, and then I was going to maybe get 2 log boom logs that would help break the waves and the wind, so that it wouldn't hit my dock and have so much erosion and movement on my dock. So that's the plan. So that's a plus. I got 1 block for free. Hopefully I can get a second one for not too much money. And then Nice. They said that they can also get me some logs, because that's what they do for a living, is build log booms and docks and stuff like that. So
nice.
So we'll see where that goes. But man, I'm gonna be so happy once this whole dock situation is just in and like done, and I have a place where I can just come and leave my boat and not have to like worry every time I leave it whether or not it's getting smashed by the waves and stuff. So A little bit stressful, but you kind of just got to surrender to Mother Nature. It's going to do what it's going to do, and you're either prepared or you're not. So,
Jeff Boom Boom Iffy.
boom, boom.
Can you consider doing a video on the big picture plan so that from a year from now you can kind of look back and compare it?
What you'd like to have built, like, is the key word.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I'm going to do videos on all that sort of stuff. Here's the deal, guys. For those of you who are following along with the whole off-grid thing and you're digging it, I'm trying to get this guy right over here. Where is he? This way? This way.
I think he went. He's gone. I think he went. Yeah.
Shut up, you bastard.
Oh, there he went.
I'm trying to get Adam here, my brother-in-law, to help me with the content. Okay, all of you guys that are enjoying this content, you need to just let him know in the comments right now. Adam, help the samurai out. Okay. He's all Mr. I'm busy sports dad and I got my kids' stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you need to make a living. I need to make a living. We're doing something awesome. This is a crazy cool story. I don't even know what's going to happen with all this. Let's share it with the people, okay? And I need you to help. I need you to come up to the property. This big bitch has not.
Whoa!
That is, you deserve that, okay?
Yeah, I do. Probably.
I have owned this property for several months now, and you haven't even come up. You haven't even seen it. Not one day, not even a day trip.
Wow.
So this guy needs to. We need to get this guy out here to help me, okay? Because Adam and I, we actually work pretty well together. He can handle my shit. I can handle his, and we work well together. I don't work well with that many people. Okay, Adam's one of the people that I work well with. It's true.
Yeah. Hey,
and
I'm coming up there. I just told you before we went live that we're planning on coming.
When? Okay, because what we need is. Sorry, I'm trying to stay current with all these guys. I need some extra hands up there. Not only just to do a lot of the work.
Oh, I was just planning on like coming and just sitting on a lounge chair, getting some sun.
As long as you're holding the camera and making interesting shots, that's what's important here. Okay, so there's so much extra content. There's so much more that I could be filming and like adding to this, but I don't have enough time in between running around and getting all the timber and doing all the stuff that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, how much better would it be if I had somebody at least a couple days a week up there with me, asking questions, creating more of a story around this whole thing so that I could kind of, because I've got the whole narrative and the dream and the plan in my head. It's just like, getting it out there in a, coherent kind of storyline, like a series, right? Make it like a YouTube reality show, essentially. It takes more than just one person doing it, with the camera and everything, right? And so I was like, we need to get Adam out there so that he can get more footage, make better, longer videos if you guys want longer videos, and then him coming up and like helping. He's also a big, strong dude. We can get more stuff done and just make it a bit more of a fun story, right? He can kind of ask questions and be like the narrator. He can be like the Morgan Freeman voice.
Oh, God.
You got kind of a deep voice. Nothing like Morgan Freeman, but we can't afford him anyway. So I'll settle with you. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Is I'm just like, come on, man, get up here and help me out because we can make this into a really epic show for the people. The people. For
the people. Well, we'll see what happens, Jesse.
Anything
is possible.
Get your ass out in the wild.
Did someone say that?
Yeah. OXFV.
Ah.
It's a person, I'm telling you. It's not a robot. And even if it was a robot, that robot knows something. Get your ass out in the wild.
We've got another question here. I mean, I'm definitely planning on coming up. So
okay, there's another question. David Penley asked.
Well, hold on. I got this
excavator. Put that question up next. Okay, put it in the queue. Okay. I'll answer that.
It's coming. This one, I did a Samurai double beam for one side of a deck. I need to lift 16-foot beam 10 feet in the air.
I gotta let my tenant in.
Oh, there he goes. Good thing you're wearing pants. All right. I said it's a good thing you're wearing pants.
Yes, it is good.
Yeah. So they did this 16-foot beam and they need to lift it 10 feet in the air. How would you do that? Because they can't get a beam lift or anything like that.
I could build to lift the beam. What size beam is it? 16 foot?
Yeah.
10 feet in the air. Well,
you just had two guys.
I typically just get one guy on a ladder and another guy on another ladder. You put that thing on your shoulder and you climb up there, but that's definitely not safe. So, yeah, you're asking me for questions about how to like safely lift stuff. Ugh. I'm the guy like in Crocs, working with power tools on a ladder with no harness most of the time. So the cheapest thing would be to just rent a couple stages of scaffold, because that stuff you can rent pretty cheap. So a couple, 2 stages or even just one stage, because they're about 6 feet high. So if you can lift the beam up onto a stage of scaffolding, right, with a couple planks on top, and then you climb up onto the scaffolding, or maybe 2 stages, right? Put 1 stage of scaffolding at one end, one at the other end, and then both lift it up under there and then lift from there. That would be probably the cheapest way. I've never done like beam lifts and stuff like that, but those things are pretty handy. I've seen them. They're like little rolling dollies that you can like crank stuff up and down. Yeah. Never used them.
It's like a hand crank.
A little
lift. I've used them before on job sites. I mean, they're pretty inexpensive to rent.
I'm like a cheap person. I'd be like, call Adam and somebody else and be like, come over here and help me just handle this thing and lift it up as awkwardly as we can just to get it done. But
before we continue with the questions, I forgot we've got we did a summer sale this last weekend. If you saw that, we promoted that summer sale over the weekend. We're opening it back up just for anyone who's on this video. There's a link in the description if you want to get in on the Makers Mob. It's 99 cents for your first month subscription, and the link is in this video, and that's going to get closed down tonight. So we're just
get in on it, guys.
Open it up for one more day, just because we're doing this live, and we want to just make that opportunity available to you guys. So if you want to get in on the Makers Mob, link in the description.
And just click the link and join, because at the very least, your dollar is helping us make more content. So if you enjoy the content, supporting the content is also a way that helps us out, because I'm not Netflix, okay? I don't have billions of dollars like some people think I do. I'm literally doing this all in debt. My wife and I were like, number one rule, we are not using the credit card to do anything. And it's like, two months later, we're like, the credit card balance is almost maxed again. I'm like, how did this happen? We made a rule. Apparently, we don't follow our own rules. So, yeah. Anyways, somebody asked what I was drinking. I'm drinking the cheapest, strongest beer I could find at the store. It's called Fax from Denmark. 8%, 500 milli. For like $2.50. And it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. It's pretty smooth for 8%.
Someone is asking if the off-grid property is lakeshore.
Yes, it is on a lake. It is not on the ocean, for those of you who've been confused about that.
Yeah.
And then other people who've been freaking out about the excavator that they saw in like one of the first videos. I will let the cat out of the bag here. I am not alone in this off-grid endeavor. I have neighbors. So just a little bit of a insight for you guys who are trying to creep and find me on Google Maps or something. Because I'm on a lake and there's 4 lots, and that's the only lots that I know of that are being developed on that whole side of the lake. So I'm almost by myself, but I have 3 other neighbors. So there's lot 1, I'm lot 2, and then there's lot 3 and 4. And lot 1 is kind of the dock and the log boom that you see in a lot of the footage that's kind of going in right in front of the beautiful view. So that's my one neighbor. And then the other neighbor is just almost finishing their build. And they have barged out a little mini excavator and a skid steer. And so they, when they get a minute, they have been kind enough to offer me to come over with the machine and help me dig out some stumps and stuff like that. And so I have taken full advantage of that because I did not want to dig them out by hand.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
But I'm trying to get them to maybe allow me to use the machine for a day or so. Their only concern is the machine's got a lot of hours on it and certain things don't work super well, and they don't want me to slip a track or whatever, and then who's going to pay for it if something goes wrong with it? Who's going to pay for it? So, and they just don't want it to break before they finish their project. So they're kind of coming to the end stages. They just finished their septic field, and they said they're not going to have a lot of use for the machine once they've kind of done their landscaping, and so they said they might rent it to me for a day or two.
I like this guy.
Ooh.
I like this guy. I like that guy.
It's possible.
What else we got here? I might be missing some. Oh, there's the excavator question. Oh, someone else just look at this. Jeff Boom Iffy.
Boom Iffy. Thanks, buddy. Boom. $5. Thank you.
Is there more lots for sale in the area? No, right? Just those 4.
Yeah, that's all I know of. I've been watching them for a couple of years, and they started a lot higher in price, and then they weren't moving because they were bowed in off grid, and most people are not into that. So the prices just kind of kept coming down. We watched for probably 3 years, and then when the whole COVID thing hit, it was like the one lot had sold, but the other 3 lots were still available. And then 6 months into COVID, it was just like, boom, gone, and there was just the one left. And I was like, holy crap, I got to get out there and see what these things are all about. So we went out and looked, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I need to buy it. I spent a couple months trying to find somebody to go in on it with me. Couldn't find anybody. Got all the equity we could out of our property. We were still short. Thankfully, my uncle is a successful developer in Alberta, and he is just a really awesome uncle. And he was like, I'll give you a loan for whatever you need to make it happen. And so I've got a private loan with him, paying him interest and all that sort of stuff. So it's, it's in his favor as well. But he was the one that helped make that a possibility, because we would not have been able to do it. So I am at the moment in debt up to my ears, and just trying to push ahead and make this dream a reality. For those of you who think I'm just rolling in the YouTube money, think again. It's just not the case, you guys. I know I do some pretty cool stuff, and I've got a really good shop, and I would say that I'm definitely blessed to have the job that I have. I'm not complaining, but at the same time, with the scale of stuff that I'm doing, there is not a lot of extra money. There's actually no extra money. I'm quite deep in debt at the moment. So, but I'm just pushing ahead and trying to make this happen whatever way that I can, same as everybody else, right?
Welcome to this episode of the Samurai Tells All.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. If there's any other
open and honest person, almost a little too honest sometimes, but
if you guys have any other questions, hit us up. If you want to join the Makers Mob, there is I think it's 10 hours left on this link that's open for the 99-cent summer sale. We opened it up again just for you guys. If you're on here, take advantage of that tonight or before the end of tonight, and you'll get your first month for 99 cents. You can cancel anytime, no problem. What else, Jesse? What else is going on?
Well, I'm at the moment, I'm trying to think of a water system. Now, I bought 2. That's the other cool thing is I've kind of been dipping my toes into the whole off-grid thing for a while, like many of you guys, just watching people do it on YouTube and going, "Ooh, this is fun." But now that I'm actually doing it, I'm like, holy crap, I got to find out what really works here. Because there's a lot of okay off-grid solutions. people that are just doing it on the super cheap and they can make stuff work. But then there's like, what level of actual like convenience and like, do you want out there? And so I was looking at pumps, but then all the like submersible pumps, like well pumps, they're like 220 volts. And I'm like, that's going to suck a lot of power if I have a solar system. So what should I do if I don't want to suck a lot of power from my well pump, which I would have just dropped into the lake and like hung it underneath my dock, like 20 feet down or something like that. So I'm like, okay, well, the other option is to do a gravity feed system, which is definitely cheaper and supposedly works pretty well. The only issue is you have to kind of make sure that your water tanks don't freeze, which is not too bad because we don't get like seriously cold winters where we are here on Vancouver Island. But it does freeze, especially from like December into March. So I'm like, okay, well then there's all that kind of issues. So I bought these big fluid transport things. You guys have probably seen them. They're like a metal cage, and then they have like a big plastic like tote or whatever that they transport all sorts of different fluids and chemicals and stuff. And so I got a couple of these things. They hold 1,000 liters each, 250 gallons or whatever. And they're super cheap because, especially there's lots of them around now because they've been used to transport hand sanitizer. And so that's what mine were. They were full of alcohol, straight corn alcohol. So they're like totally disinfected and clean. So I just opened them up, poured out the remaining hand sanitizer, and just let it all evaporate inside there. So now they're just like, they're clean and ready to go. And I took one up to the property. You'll see that in the next video. And then I was going to get another one, and they stack on top of each other, which is nice. And they have like these metal frames that are really stable. So you just have to have like a flat spot for them. And then I'm thinking I might like insulate around it with some rigid foam and just put some like metal roofing, kind of just strap and make it look like a bit of a shed because they're ugly to look at. And then run a pipe down the cliff or the bluff to where the cabin's going to be or where our little outdoor kitchen is. And then we'd have running water. Mm-hmm. And then the way that I would fill the tanks is I would use my fire hose station, which can lift up to 197 feet, right, of elevation from where the water intake is.
Fill that up.
And then just basically have a pipe running all the way down underneath my dock, underneath the boardwalk, just strapped to the boardwalk and insulated. And then I can just pull out my little fire hose pump, connect that pipe, turn it on, and it'll pump and fill up the tanks. And then once they're full, you got 2,000 liters of water before you need to refill them. And we probably got about 40 feet of drop, which I think there's some equation that'll tell you it's so many PSI per foot. And so it'll actually be pretty close to like household pressure having like, 40 some feet of drop before, it comes into the cabin. So I was like, the gravity feed system is what I'm going with to start. And then if I come up with a better system, or if that's causing me a lot of hassles, then I'll come up with a better system, right? So I'm going to be working on that. And so I cut a little trail in to get up to the top of the bluff, which was fun. Good workout. I'm actually really enjoying digging trails. It's almost as rewarding as woodworking. I don't know. I think there's something very primitive and natural about creating paths through the wilderness. There's just something about it. Let me tell you. If you got some woods out back, go dig some trails. You'll really enjoy yourself.
We got a bunch of questions rolling in here. With the steeps, or with how steep the slope is toward the waterfront, how far back are you planning on building the house, the cabin, and what kind of square footage?
So right now it's kind of like there's a couple, it's like terraced in a way, right? So the water, there's kind of a stone bluff that comes up about 20-25 feet. And then it kind of flattens out a little bit, still has a bit of slope, and then it kind of goes up again. There's another bluff. But there's a good area on that first kind of bluff where it comes up from the water.
And that's the kind of flat area that's
the flat area where I plan on building the cabin. Now the property is zoned for up to a 1,600 square foot cabin and 430 square foot like auxiliary building or shop or second cabin. So I plan on taking full advantage of those, the zoning and building as big as I possibly can. Like we live in 1,600 square feet right now, the upstairs of our house, and it's quite a comfortable size. So I'll try and get as close to that as I can just to kind of max out the square footage. Because I would like to live there one day full time if I can convince the wife. So we'll see, or at least live there like from spring until fall, and then maybe just spend the winter in Victoria because it gets pretty wet and dreary up there. It's a very kind of wet, rainy, foggy.
Got to go south for the winter.
Yeah, south to Victoria.
James,
thank
gave
you,
you
sir.
$1. Kevin gave you $5, and he wants a question answered. He needs a new saw, Husqvarna still.
Now I've got a Husqvarna, a big one, the big sucker, the 3140 or 3120, the biggest one they can get, and it's a beautiful saw. Husqvarna is a beautiful saw. I'm not ragging on Husqvarna. The only thing I don't like about Husqvarna is if you're not, let's say if you've never used a still and you're just getting into the chainsaw game, then maybe it's 50-50. Just pick one. They're quality tools, both. But I find the still are just way more user-friendly. They're like bomb-proof. They're like the AK-47 of chainsaws. Like you can drop them and never use them, leave gas in them, and like they just start all the time. So, and they also, the clutch system, the way the chain goes onto the sprocket or gear thing or whatever, like the Husqvarna, or at least the big one that I've got, there's like the clutch is on the outside of that, and you have to like put the chain around. It's just really awkward changing the chains and bars. And the still system is just way simpler, and just the way they're engineered, they're easier to work on, so they're cheaper to fix typically. So I would just go with the still. If you're like a professional faller, even then I'd say it's probably 50-50. A lot of guys use still, and a lot of fallers use Huskies. And I know Buck and Billy Ray is a Husky. McCullough, like old school, he doesn't like still. And I'm like, man, that guy's a chainsaw wizard. So I'm not ragging on Husqvarna, but just from my point of view, I've got a pretty decent amount of chainsaw experience, but I'm not like, that's not what I do for a living. I like the stills because you can literally just depend on them all the time. And they're kind of minimal maintenance saws. They're not finicky, and they're just, they start and run beautifully. So I'm a still guy.
There you go. Love to see a camping gear content as well.
Ooh.
You did one years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done some stuff like that.
But maybe what you have up there.
Yeah, maybe I could do a little like gear overview stuff that I've been using and really liking and not liking. I want to do also a boat update video on the skiff. Something that if Adam was up there helping me, would be really easy to do in just like a couple of hours. I could go and film a video. You know, having somebody that could be like on the shore, and then I could do some cool drive-by shots with the boat, and not, you know, having that help would make making like more content really easy.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
So, would be great.
That'd be awesome.
You guys know anybody that'd be into that?
Look at this.
What
2,500? That's
Chilean parsecs, something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at that. Oh, look at this.
Barquito.
Contributing to some steel-toed Crocs.
Thank you, Daniel. I've seen a lot of memes where they have those little steel-toe caps that go on the Crocs or whatever. Yeah. Like I think they're a joke, but I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm actually, as much as I love my new Crocs that I got, the Swift Water Croc, I've already worn a hole right through them. There's like a hole like this big right at the ball of my foot, and so I switched to my old Tevas. I got my Tevas going now. But yeah, it's just too nice up there to have like boots and socks and stuff on. Just can't do it. So it's got to be Crocs or sandals. But yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. And so yeah, any other question?
Yeah, we got a couple here. If I've skipped yours, I'm sorry. There's some that I feel
it will be similar and completely different. I'm hoping to be able to like do some of the siding in cedar shake. That'll be pretty expensive, but I just can't compromise. So it's either going to be like board and batten and cedar shake, kind of like I did on the house here, a mix. It's going to be very natural. I'm not painting and staining the exteriors. Like I'm leaving all the decks raw. A lot of other people have been asking, aren't you treating the wood? The wood that I'm using for all the decking and pretty much all the exterior woodwork and pretty much just all the woodwork is yellow cedar. For the frame of the house, I'm probably going to be using fir because it's stronger. I'll get to that in a second, Adam. And so, yeah, yellow cedar or cypress, Alaskan yellow cedar. There's a bunch of different names, but cypress is the actual species of wood. It grows in that area. Actually, all the wood, even though it was milled down here in Victoria, the logs came from Port Alberni, where the property is. So they transport the logs down, they mill it, I buy the wood, and then I transport back up to the property. It's all locally grown yellow cedar or cypress, and it's probably like next to a tropical hardwood, it's the most rot resistant wood in North America. Whether you treat it with a stain or not, it's probably going to last about 40 to 50 years because it has natural oils and tannins in the wood that repel insects and all sorts of bacteria growth. And so it's just really beautiful wood. And it's like super tight old growth. Like the growth rings are like a millimeter. Like you can barely see them with your eye. They're so tight. So it's beautiful quality wood. It's grown in that area, which I personally think like using species of woods that are from the climate that you live in, they last longer when they're actually grown in that climate than say transported from some other place or treated with a bunch of chemicals. So I'm going to be trying to use as minimal pressure treated wood as possible and just doing everything out of yellow cedar and see how long it lasts. Because I've worked at summer camps that were 70, 80 years old and still original boardwalks made out of yellow cedar were still intact. So it's the right wood for the job. So that's why I'm using it. And I'm not putting stain on it because I want this to be kind of a very natural, just blend in. So it's going to go gray. So the exterior woodworking will kind of look like a Japanese temple over time, and the fact that it'll just all go gray and blend into the environment, which I actually have learned to love. I'm kind of moving away from my North American, make it shiny and bright and paint it all sorts of colors to show how rich you are, or some stupid mentality. I just want a very natural, fits in with the scenery, and looks like a little Japanese temple. So it's going to be samurai style, but it's going to have a lot more kind of Japanese influence, like heavy duty samurai style, kind of like the gates that I've built. And then the inside is where I'll spend the time and put some finishes on the wood. And so when you come into the cabin, it'll be very like, beautiful wood tones and stains and stuff like that, but no paint, no drywall. Like this is going to be a wood house, like top to bottom. So
wood cabin. Adam Van Ness, who you would recognize if you watch some of Jesse's videos, has been up to. He
was in a couple of videos. He just snapped his leg in half. Helping a buddy build a rock wall. His buddy dropped a boulder on his leg out of a skid steer and snapped his fibia and tibia, just boom, right in half like a.
Adam. Dude.
So he's out. He's not helping me for the next 3 months. That's one Adam down. I need another Adam. Come on, Adam.
I don't know.
Yes, the composting toilet did show up. Here's the only negative, though. We canceled our order from Home Cheapo because it wasn't showing up and it was not moving in transit. We were looking at the tracking order and I was like, screw this. They obviously don't have it. So I canceled that. Found one used for half the price, but it's an Sunmar Excel, which is a plug-in version. So it's a little bit more compact because it has like a fan that blows the vent air out, but I don't have a plug-in, right? And so my vent pipe is 2 inches, whereas like the non-electric version, the vent pipe is 4 inches. So I'm not getting enough airflow, I don't think, because it does kind of smell. It doesn't smell like an outhouse. It smells kind of more like a chicken coop, kind of like that pea sawdust.
Hey.
Kind of smell just when you're sitting on the toilet. It's not like seriously bad, but I think I ordered some of this microbe mix that you're supposed to spray in there that helps the composting and gets things going a little faster. So I don't know if I set it up entirely right. And I'm using kind of the plug-in version, which doesn't have as much airflow and natural venting. So I think I might if I can get some more money together, because the toilets they're like $1,600 brand new. So
Summer Rob,
dude,
but that's for your credit card for the interest.
Thank you, Rob. The credit card's killing me. I was just talking to my wife. I'm like, as soon as we get this next sponsorship money, I'm like, please pay off our credit card, honey, because we're getting killed.
We got another $1.99. This is crazy because I don't remember ever in our lives.
We gotta do more live videos.
Wow,
that's the way to make it happen. Okay, do I need to start taking my clothes? No, that would be like, then the money would go the other way. But
not only are we getting donations and stuff to help you out, but we've got Jesus Christ actually commenting.
Wow, hempcrete, hey? That's what you're all about, Jesus. I've heard of hempcrete. I've never worked with it. That's the other thing. It's like, materials wise, out there, the property is not a very well. There's a lot of rock. It's kind of like a volcanic rock, so it's kind of brittle, harder to work with. The dirt is very kind of clay and rocky, so it's not like a good growing soil. There's just not a lot of, like, other than wood, other than trees and rock, there's not a lot on the property as far as like harvestable materials and stuff like that. Now, if I was one of these horticulture type people, I'm sure I could walk through the forest and be like, there's endless amounts of material and stuff that you can take this old man's beard and you could turn it into a tunic. I'm just like, I will learn more about that stuff as time goes on, but right now I'm pretty modernized and trying to just build this the only way I know how, and that is with wood. So concrete, I'm just basically taking ready mix bags of concrete out there for the footings that I'm doing, and I'm trying to do as minimal as possible. I'm trying to actually set stuff directly onto the rock and not have to do a bunch of concrete mixing, and just have it be a very low impact where the buildings all just kind of sit on top of the land, and I'm not excavating a ton of it. So that's the plan anyways.
Nice. It seems like questions just keep coming in and comments. Let's wrap this up soon because we've been almost 50 minutes.
I know, time flies on these live videos. Yeah,
almost 50 minutes. If I missed your question and you really, really, really want it answered, then post it again because I'm not going to scroll back through while we wait for those again. Hold on. Extended summer sale. Link in the description.
Really?
Yeah.
A good thing you said that. I don't think anybody knew that was even happening.
Hey, people jump on, jump off. You never know.
Yeah, I know.
We want to give everybody an equal
the opportunity.
Yeah.
To give us your money.
Yeah.
So what I want to do ideally is buy the non-electric composting toilet and put that in the outhouse, and then put the Sunmar plug-in one that I have that I got used for cheap. Maybe save that until we have the cabin built, and maybe run a plug for that one, and actually have like a plug-in one once we have like a solar system and inverters and all that sort of stuff. I just don't want to trench and try to run power to the outhouse just to plug in the damn toilet.
Yeah.
So I want that to be kind of a standalone unit, but I can't afford another $1,600 right now because I just had to spend $1,500 fixing my boat trailer. The brakes were shot, the lines were shot, the hitch was shot. Like, it was just like, all these bills are coming out. They're coming crazy fast. So yeah, it's just piling up.
That's
a good little visual there. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm not on an island. Well, I'm on an island, technically. I'm on Vancouver Island.
On a lake on an island.
But I'm not on an island on a lake on another island. I'm on an island, Vancouver Island. But the lake is actually, it's more of a peninsula. So there's a bit of a land bridge where you can actually, there's a logging road, and you can drive up onto the mountain or whatever where the property is, but it doesn't come to the property itself. The road kind of dies in the woods, maybe a couple kilometers away. If I ever get the time, if I had somebody helping me film and stuff like that, and maybe I could like go for a hike through the woods and punch a trail in up to the road, so that I could technically have some sort of a road access. But with all the time that I don't have due to lack of help.
Only this subliminal little.
That'd be wouldn't that be a great video, guys? Bushwhacking and cutting a trail from the property up to the nearest logging road. That'd be a fun, adventurous little video series that we could do. Would you guys want to see that?
That'd be interesting.
It would.
Someone was actually asking earlier about a garden.
If I was to grow anything out there, I would have to grow it probably using the human manure that comes out of my composting toilet.
That's what Adam was just saying.
Because there's the soil out there is basically just red dirt, which stuff would grow in it, but it's very rocky and it's pretty arid actually, considering how much wet rain it gets in the wintertime. It's very dry in the summer. So
I will not be there that weekend or when you are doing that project. Just so you know.
Kevin, thank you, Kevin, for your donation. He says I need to start an OnlyFans to pay bills. Isn't that like what the porn stars do to like get extra money?
Huh?
Just me and my tool vest. Hey guys.
Oh no!
I don't think anybody would pay to see that.
No,
that would be that would explode the internet pretty quick.
Yeah. Well. Looks like we're wrapping up the questions here. Should we do one more plug for the summer sale, or just not?
No, I think people got it.
Okay. Write in the comments.
Maybe plug my Patreon. I'll plug anything right now to get some more donations.
If you want us to plug,
I'm going under.
Hold on. If you want us to plug the summer sale again, just comment in the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna explode. Let's wait.
Yeah. Are you killing the big wood on the property?
No, I'm not. If you mean like just cutting down a bunch of trees, no. The only trees I've cut down, the only live tree that I've cut down so much, Vincent, you are the man. Vince has come to a couple of my workshops now, and he just donated $20. You're the man, Vince. As soon as the borders are technically open, Vince, if you're vaccinated. I don't know if you are. Don't blame me if you're not, but. Supposedly, if you're fully vaccinated, you can come to Canada now. So we might have to plan a little workshop. I'm hoping to do a Men with Saws weekend, end of September, where maybe 10, 12 guys come up with chainsaws and we just buck a ton of wood and burn these huge bonfires that I got piled up. Because there's just so much wood to clear and burn and firewood to split. And so I thought, man, it'd be fun to just do a big group thing, because then I wouldn't have to do 10 years of firewood splitting by myself. Hopefully some of my American brethren can come up and join for that. And if you're a member of the Makers Mob, you'll be able to get all the information on how to join and how to come. Summer sausage on sale.
Wow. Adam and S says he's going to bring his machete.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to smoke a peace pipe, the JD. Okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But yes, there will be pipe smoking of the tobacco variety. Okay, so.
Hey!
Dude, what?
Look at this dude.
Tim, you are the man. Wow, thank you, sir. That is more than generous. Do you have any questions you want me to answer? I'm not taking my shirt off. Not for $50. Maybe 100 and I'll take it off. Sorry, the beer's kicking in, guys. It's 8% here.
It's awesome because your wife is on here commenting, so she's definitely.
Yeah, I got to keep it clean here. The wife's watching. No.
Where do you get your yellow cedar? I need some in Lake Cowichan. Oh.
Believe it or not, well, I get it from Souk, Wenstob Timber and Souk. I don't know if you guys watched the show Big Timber on Netflix, but they're actually doing a Netflix show at this big timber mill because they're a quirky bunch of people that cut some big timber and do all sorts of cool stuff. So I've been getting my wood from them to do all the boardwalks and everything so far. I've got other kind of guys as well, but I find that, dude. Brian, thank you, sir. You need a wall.
Your kids can eat tonight.
No, totally. That would be sweet. Maybe we could like have like a part of like the stone bluff or something. People could carve their little initials in it or make a stamp or something like that.
Back to the wood, the yellow cedar for Glenn.
Yeah, so that's where I've been getting it all is Wenstob, so Wenstob timber, and they're in Souk, and they do custom stuff, and they also stock a bunch of standard variety stuff, 2x6, 2x10, that sort of stuff, 6x6. So if you just need some general sizes, a lot of times they have it in stock. If you need a custom order, they'll do that up pretty quick for you. And their prices are competitive, and the quality is really beautiful. So I bought 78 or 80 12 foot 2x6, and like out of 80, I'd say 60 were clear, and I didn't have to pay any extra for the clear. So I was like, this is awesome. The whole dock and the boardwalk are all clear decking, maybe a couple tiny little knots. So yeah, it's really good quality stuff they got there right now.
Courtney says, let's do it. Wall of Fame.
Wall of Fame. It'll happen. If we can get a group of people to come up and help, we'll make a little spot where people can put their initials and carve them on a tree or whatever, put a little heart around them.
Aw, so cute.
That'd be precious.
Well, guys, I think
maybe everybody could just take a deuce in the outhouse and just graffiti their names on the inside of the outhouse as if.
Dude.
My beautiful timber frame outhouse with spalted arbutus slabs. It's too beautiful. But maybe on the outside or the back wall.
That is a terrible idea. You do not often have terrible ideas, but that was a terrible idea. That was garbage.
No, we'll make something for sure. I know that I don't know if you guys follow. I think it's Tsukyosa, or it's like a Japanese woodworking school.
What?
They're on Facebook, and dude, James Green, you're the man.
And
dude, well, we gotta just keep this going here.
Jesse's like, I don't want to.
I'm gonna crack another beer here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we've already got a couple up there. Adam NS, who's been in all my workshops thus far and has become a good friend of mine. He came up, and Marcus Swift is also in the mob. He came up for a weekend and hustled with me, and we dug the footings together. So they'll have to come up and put their names down on the wall once we get it built for sure.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, I think we're running out of content now.
Yeah.
So we should gear up for our trip up to the property, right, Adam?
We got to get ready for it.
To do. You gotta,
we got to get ready for it.
You gotta pack a bag. Have you ever camped outside? Have you ever been in the woods?
I've done it once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there.
I got your back.
You on a different note, I need to get some footage from you so we can put out a video this week.
Exactly. I got it all on the phone here. And I got a sweet little some woodpecker footage. Lots of woodpeckers on the property. There's like it's a whole family.
We got woodpeckers.
I was sitting up last night at sunset. It was a little too dark to get any footage, but this little beaver came swimming by. I was like, what is that? I could barely see it, and the moon was like shining over the water. And sure enough, this big flat tail was hanging behind him. And I'd seen him a couple times before, so he kind of travels up and down the coast right there. But it's, back in the day, beaver were everywhere on the island, but there's only a few spots where they're still kind of doing well. So it was cool to see my little beaver buddy. And he dove underneath the boats that I had lashed to the shore, and then he popped up on the other side and kind of kept swimming along. So he and I are going to become friends.
Nice.
Hoping to have a little pet beaver where I can what do beavers like to eat? They just eat sticks and
I just feel awkward talking about a pet beaver.
How sweet would it be to have little Bucky the beaver who just comes up on the shore and you can hand feed him in some of the videos? That'd be sweet.
Yeah, until he chews your arm off.
Just pet him. You ever pet a beaver?
I know a guy who lost his leg to a beaver.
Shut up. All right, look at Tim's done the math for me here. Tim, 1 hour you made over $200 just drinking a beer.
$1, like a $2 beer.
And a $2 shitty beer too.
That's awesome.
Anyways, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the support, all the people that have actually sent some money our way. That helps huge. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for everybody who's jumped in on the summer sale, because that also helps us keep the content rolling. And we'll try and keep doing these live video updates. It seems like you guys enjoy them. I enjoy doing them, especially when I'm half cut. And you said you were going to be drinking a beer, Adam.
I know.
Remember we said we were going to make it a happy hour. We're going to make it a happy hour. I'm here drinking by myself. You're kind of dropping the ball.
I'm just disappointed in you constantly.
You're letting the team down here, Adam.
Oh,
okay, everybody, we just need to give Adam some encouragement. He's clearly having a hard time, and he needs a little help with some direction in his life. Like, direct him to get his ass up to the property and help me make more content, and direct him to buy a beer and enjoy a happy hour from time to time. Okay.
I feel a Get Your Shit Together Adam shirt coming on.
Yeah. Off-Grid Samurai shirts. I think we need to make an Off-Grid Samurai shirt. Comment if you agree. A sweet silhouette of me like holding up a chainsaw would be sweet, and then Off-Grid Samurai, and then a Get Your Shit Together Adam shirt would also probably be a hot seller. I think so. Just considering how many Adams there are in the world, a Get Your Shit Together Adam shirt. Yeah. I bet that's just probably like $1 million idea.
A silhouette of me being like,
yeah, or a Dave. Get your shit together, Dave. There's so many Daves out there that everybody,
Steve.
So
we'll do something. Actually, that's a great idea.
I'm telling you, man, the money's there. Look at it. We made $200 just drinking a beer. And if you were drinking a beer, you'd probably be funnier too. And then we would have made even more money. So let me speak for everybody when I say get your shit together, Adam. Okay? Next time.
Love it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna end this now before Jesse says
Adam and I love each other, and we rib each other and say harsh things to each other. That's how we show our affection, or at least how I show my affection to Adam.
It's true.
Yeah,
Jesse and I were actually roommates before I married his sister.
Yeah,
long time ago. I don't know if we were by choice roommates. We just stumbled into the same house together.
Yeah, just kind of random. I didn't really like him at first, and he's grown on me since then. He's an acquired taste, but
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, it's been fun, guys. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, and we'll try and get a little event page going for the Men with Saws weekend. Women are also welcome if they know how to use chainsaws. And we'll get that up on the Makers Mob page for those of you who want to participate in that. That would be awesome. And until the next live, I don't know if we'll do one next week or every 2 weeks or whatever.
Probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks we'll try and do a little update, keep it fresh and fun. And Adam will have some beers next time, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.
Wood Ninja out.
Have a great weekend, Samurai out.